Welcome to the second episode of my podcast. Before we begin, I need to put out a trigger warning for all my sensitive listeners because I will be discussing very serious and sensitive subjects. Okay, let's begin. As we all know, this episode is about social circles, and what I mean by social circle is the people who you associate yourself with, like your best friends, family, people who you trust, and people who you support and they support you. I don't mean people who you see daily, like coworkers, peers, teachers, or others. I mean someone who you connect with on another level. Like for me, my social circle would probably be a mix of individuals, but not many, who are my closest friends and whom I trust. Also, I want to add my family, because though might not be close with them, they're really important to me. First, I would like to state that when it comes to those who you deem to be an important part of your social circle, it should be individuals who are good people, not only to you, but to others. It is also important to establish support in your circle. Otherwise, you're just going to end up hurting yourself. As I interview multiple students at my high school, I asked the question, do you think your family life and inner circles affect you? Here is Jensine Wagner again, and her input on the matter.
Yeah, I think they do, just because I see them every day and they have their own opinions about my life and they express those opinions, and it might change my way of thinking, or it may not, yeah.
Carly Madsen says, yes, we are all products of the people you surround yourself with. Again, here is Samantha Mira and what she had to say.
I think that my family life and inner circles definitely affect me because I think I'm always trying to impress everybody or show my best self to everyone, and that can be really stressful and puts a lot of pressure on a person.
And finally, here's what Doug had to say on the matter. Yes, they do affect me. They can affect my day, week, or month, and even sometimes change me as a person. The key is I don't let them define me as a person. It's important to understand that overall, you need to be aware of who you surround yourself with. Without even noticing it, you could end up in a situation where you may not want to be in, especially regarding emotions. You should have a group where you're open to talk about subjects like mental health, because not focusing or paying attention to yourself and your mental health can really impact you. And no, it's not selfish. A study was done and proved that spending time with people who are not as focused on their bodies and what they eat can cause you to also do the same. 92 women who were a part of the study said that when they were around people with less of an issue or focus with their bodies or eating habits, caused them to also feel appreciation towards their bodies and create less of a worry. Researchers found that spending time with a non-body focused individual could prevent creating or further allowing a disorder. As humans, we are social creatures and we often rely on others and we work as a group. This is the whole reason why we have friend groups, cliques, sports teams, etc. We often work together or follow each other. This same thing involves trends. It's because a large people are following it. Especially what we see on social media can transverse into our daily lives. So if a trend involving our bodies may really impact a lot of people, and being in a social circle that may consistently worry about what they eat or how they look in something or worry about a post, it can really impact your thoughts and cause you to think the same. This also means that other topics of discussion either are or should be mental health. As I interviewed students at my high school, I also asked them, would you say that your social circles are healthy? If yes or no, what makes them healthy or unhealthy, and how do you feel in these circles? Basketball captain Natalie Barucci, a senior at BHS, had to say this. I would say that social circles can be both healthy and unhealthy for me because it is a sense of community, so I need to feel like I belong before I fit in. But in a way, it's also unhealthy because some social circles exclude people and make people feel like they don't fit in or belong. When I was younger, I remember I definitely was not in a healthy social circle. I was on the basketball team with all the cool and popular people, and it made me feel like I had to act a specific way so they would like me better. Here's Sarah Shake again, and this is what she had to say. Yes, I would say my social circles are healthy as I know what toxicity looks like from past experiences. And now, my friends and I realize the importance of being open and honest with each other when it comes to saying things that hurt us. We have realized that we are all unique in our own ways and that we all have the ability to make mistakes. But it's more important to learn from them. Here's Vaishnavi Gudala, and this is what she had to say. I feel like my social circles are very healthy, especially the ones with people my age, friends, dance groups, etc. We are all teenagers and we struggle with the same things, so there is no judgment and I feel comfortable openly sharing my struggles. I feel like the older the people I associate with are, the harder it is for me to be open about topics concerning societal beauty standards and insecurities. And finally, here's Doug Edwards and what he had to say. Yes, I would say my social circle is healthy. It hasn't always been, and I've worked hard to make it healthy and want to keep it that way. Without getting into details, I had a very codependent and toxic group of friends outside of school that I had to break out of. I did do this going into my junior year, and it really changed my outlook and attitude for the better. I'm still friends with a handful of them today. Being able to be in a group where you're able to openly speak about issues really shows how healthy your social circle is. Especially when you think your friends are treating you the way that you want to be treated. Yes, the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So, I want you to think about everything that I mentioned. And really think about who you put yourself in situations with. Are the people who you are with as healthy as they seem? As I interviewed many students at BHS, I asked them to give out some advice to our audience members. And I asked them, what would you say to those who feel like they're stuck in a really long and unhealthy relationship? Or someone who may not even be noticing how unhealthy their circle may be? Here is Vaishnavi Gudala again, and this is what she had to say. I would say to really think about yourself and prioritize yourself. There was a time where I was doing really bad, not taking care of myself and not making a change. And taking care of myself really helped me. This can translate to leaving toxic relationships and being with the wrong people for your mental health. But overall, just prioritize yourself. Here is Josh Taylor again, and this is what he had to say. Just remember that it is okay to find help, and it's okay if your feelings have changed about a person. But what you also have to know is that the other person has feelings too. And finally, here's what Doug Edwards had to say. If someone I knew were in a toxic long-term relationship, I tell them that it's important to listen to the people around you. It's okay to be a bit defensive, that's only human. But you should try to be open to what the people close to you are saying. More often than not, they mean well and they want to see you happy. Whatever they decide to do is what I would support. Just know that I'm looking out for them and I hope they listen. Before we end, I'd like to thank those who were featured within this podcast and for everyone listening. If you were interested in more, please listen to the next episode. Also, if you are struggling, please call a mental health hotline or even communicate with a doctor or a professional. So overall, please be aware of your surroundings and find or keep people in your life who support you and that you trust, and obviously vice versa.